Tubeless tyres are great. They really aren't very prone to getting pinch punctures like you get with tubes, but you can still suffer from problems with hitting sharp objects and putting small holes in them. So let's look at how to fix a tubeless tyre trail side. The first thing to do is to identify the problem that you've got. It might be a case that you don't actually have a puncture. Sometimes you can actually just burp the tyre a little bit. What I mean by that is if you're running slightly low pressures and maybe you hit a hard G out or a rock or something, you'll move the bead slightly on the rim and that'll just let a bit of air out the sidewall, and then you'll seal it again and you'll ride off and you won't really notice, but you might just feel your tyre's gone down a little bit. Looking down at my sidewall, I can see a little bit of sealant, tubeless sealant, where it's come out of the tyre. That's because I've peeled the bead a little bit off the inside of the rim and let a bit of air and sealant out. So to me, I know pretty sure that I'm not losing any pressure now, so I'm gonna just pump that tyre back up to my normal pressure. Maybe even think about going slightly harder if you're burping the tyre regularly. Okay, so I'm listening and feeling for a hole, and here we go. It's easy to spot because I can see a little bit of tubeless sealant coming out of that hole, so that shows me exactly where it is. So let's look at fixing that hole. If it's small enough, that tubeless sealant in the tyre will do its trick. So give that wheel a spin, or sometimes just carrying on riding, we'll slosh that sealant around and that'll fill nice small holes. If that doesn't do the trick, it's time to think about doing something else. The hole's too big, this tubeless sealant isn't doing the trick, so I actually need to try and plug that hole with something else. These little tubeless repair kits are great. I've heard them called anchovies or dog turds. What you need to do is use a special tool and get this little rubbery strip pushed into that tyre to seal the hole. The tubeless goo will then seal any tiny little holes around it. And I've actually had really good success with these. I've actually had these last the whole lifetime of a tyre. So once they're in there, they work really well. So it's definitely worth carrying these in your pack. They're only really light little things. So I've put my little repair in there and it's done the trick. It's plugged the hole, span the wheel to get that sealant, fill in any extra little holes just in case. And all I need to do then is pump the tyre back up to pressure and away I go. I found those things really useful, and if you can get them in there before your tyre goes completely flat, you generally get away with it. You might have problems if your tyre goes completely flat and the bead comes off the rim a little bit. That depends on your tyre and rim combo really. If they're nice and tight, you might be able to get the tyre back up to pressure using a mini trail pump, but sometimes you won't get that tyre sealed again. If you're struggling to get that tyre seated on the bead nicely again, a CO2 cartridge can really help. It's going to give you that extra burst. So if you do carry one of those, that might work. If not, then it's time to admit defeat and stick a tube in there. So it's always worth carrying a spare inner tube, even though you're running tubeless tyres. So if you do have to fit a tube trail side, why not check our video, how to fix a puncture trail side up here, or you can click down here for our other mechanical playlist. Or click on me and my newly fixed tyre to subscribe to GMBM. Great.